My parents ignored my birthday again, but when they saw my $94,000 Mercedes on Instagram, my dad called, "Where did you get the money?" Family meeting tomorrow, 6 p.m. They had no idea what was coming. Sup Reddit. Get ready to hear this absolute show. What started as a forgotten birthday ended up with the most satisfying revenge after years of pent-up rage. Grab your popcorn already. This is going to be long and fun. I'm Adrian, 29 male, pulling down $145,000 as a senior commercial architect in Chicago. And my family treats me like I work at Subway. Meanwhile, my 27-year-old brother Asher gets a dang ticker tape parade every time he successfully glues two pieces of metal together. But here's where this story gets interesting, and expensive as heck for everyone who's been playing favorites. Let me paint you the picture of this family's nonsense hierarchy. So last Christmas, we're all gathered around the tree when Asher pulls out what looks like a coat hanger that got into a fight with a blender. He starts going on about how it represents the industrial decay of late-stage capitalism or some pretentious garbage like that. Dad practically loses his mind with excitement. This is museum-quality work, Asher. You're really capturing the zeitgeist here. Mom's already uploading photos to Facebook. Our artistic genius strikes again. Proud mom, artist son. Me. I'm sitting there having just finished the interior redesign of the 40-story Millennium Tower, a project that literally took 18 months of my life and won the Chicago Design Association's Innovation Award. Did anyone ask about it? Nope. But here's what makes me want to burn this whole family dynamic to the ground. I've been quietly documenting Asher's successful art career for months, and it's the most elaborate financial scam I've ever seen. See, I research everything before making decisions. When Asher started bragging about selling pieces for thousands and getting featured in exclusive galleries, my nonsense detector went off like a smoke alarm. So about 6 months ago, I'm at a networking event at the Palmer House when this older guy, Elliot, overhears me mention Asher's name. Turns out he owns the West Side Contemporary Gallery where Asher has his showings. After some coffee, Elliot gets real chatty. "Oh, your brother's one of our exhibition artists," he says with this knowing grin. Nice kid, but he's paying premium rates for wall space. Paying rates. I ask, trying to keep my voice neutral while my brain starts calculating. Vanity gallery model. Artists pay us for exhibition space. We handle the opening reception. They get to tell people they had a gallery show. Your brother pays $1,500 monthly for prime wall space, Elliot says. My poker face stays perfect, but inside I'm doing mental math that makes my architect brain light up like Christmas. $1,500 per month, plus a cut of actual sales. Though, honestly, your brother sold maybe 3 small pieces in 2 years, a couple hundred each. So Asher's been paying $18,000 per year to pretend he's a successful artist while earning maybe $600 annually from actual sales. The numbers don't work unless someone's bankrolling this fantasy, right? That's when I started my real investigation. 3 weeks of digging through public records, credit reports, and financial databases. All the boring detective work that comes naturally when you analyze building systems for a living revealed the truth that would eventually destroy my family's golden boy. Monthly transfers from Dad's business account. $1,800 per month to Asher going back 26 months. That's $46,800 in direct subsidies for Asher's fake art career. But wait, there's more. Rent on Asher's River North loft. $2,400 monthly. Art supplies, studio fees, health insurance, even his dang car payment. All traced back to mysterious cash injections that coincidentally matched deposits from our parents. Total family investment in Asher's artistic delusions over 3 years. $89,000. Meanwhile, when I asked for help with a condo down payment 3 years ago, just a loan, not a gift, I got a 40-minute lecture about fiscal responsibility and earning your own way. I didn't lose my mind. I didn't confront anyone. I just kept building my case file because that's exactly what this was going to be. The Millennium Tower project was wrapping up, which meant my $75,000 completion bonus was about to hit. Money that represented 18 months of 60-hour weeks, weekend site visits, and more stress than most people handle in their entire careers. But my family didn't know about the bonus. They never asked about my work, never showed interest in my projects, never bothered to learn that their struggling architect son was actually crushing it professionally. Yesterday was my 29th birthday. The day I decided to stop being invisible and start being unforgettable. The day I decided that if this family wanted to worship false idols, they were going to pay market rates for the privilege. But first I needed backup. And I knew exactly who to call. Daniel is my office partner and the smartest financial strategist I know. Korean-American MIT graduate, architect by day, and day trader by night. He's the guy who helped me set up my investment portfolio and taught me how to read financial statements like blueprints. More importantly, Daniel has a pathological hatred of financial fraud and family nonsense. His own parents tried to guilt him into funding his deadbeat cousin's startup, so he gets family manipulation on a molecular level. Tuesday morning, the day after my forgotten birthday, I cornered Daniel at our office's coffee station. I need your help destroying someone's fake financial empire, I tell him quietly. Daniel pauses mid-sip of his espresso. Business or personal? Family. His eyes light up like he just found a structural flaw in a competitor's building. Tell me more. I lay out Asher's entire scam. The vanity gallery, the family subsidies, the fake success story being broadcast on social media while I've been treated like the family disappointment. Daniel listens with focus. When I finish, he sets down his coffee and smiles like a predator who just spotted wounded prey. 89 grand over 3 years for a fake art career. Good grief, Adrian. Your brother's running a better con than most financial advisors. It gets better. My completion bonus hits today. $75,000 after taxes. And your family doesn't know. They've never asked about my career ever. Daniel leans back in his chair, already planning. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to buy something nice for yourself, so expensive and visible that it forces a family reckoning. Something that makes them question everything they think they know about your financial situation. I was thinking about a nice car, I said. No, not nice. Spectacular. German engineering is spectacular. Make your parents lose their minds. Spectacular. He pulls out his phone and starts Googling Mercedes dealerships. Listen to me, brother. AMG spectacular. By lunch, Daniel had researched every luxury car dealership in Chicago, identified the most beautiful financial middle finger money could buy, and mapped out a psychological warfare strategy that would make Sun Tzu weep with pride. The key, he explains over sandwiches, isn't just buying the car. You're going to force them into a public confrontation about their financial priorities, document everything, and then systematically destroy the pipeline that funds Asher's fantasy. How exactly do we destroy their funding? I asked. Daniel grins. Leave that to me. I've got some ideas that are going to make your family meeting very, very interesting. At 2 p.m., my laptop pings with a bank notification. My checking account balance. $127,847. The Millennium Tower bonus just hit. $75,000 sitting in my account like it's been waiting for permission to change my life forever. I text Daniel. The money's here. Time to go nuclear. His response comes back immediately. Meet me at Mercedes-Benz on Michigan Avenue at 7 p.m. We're something nice. We're about to buy you the most expensive birthday present your family will never forget. But the car was only phase 1. We had already started phase 2, a comprehensive financial investigation that would reveal exactly how deep the family's Asher subsidy program really went. And what Daniel found was going to make my Mercedes purchase look like pocket change. Daniel meets me at the Mercedes dealership wearing an expensive suit and confidence. The car we're targeting sits in the showroom like automotive perfection. A 2021 Mercedes AMG C63 in matte black. 469 horsepower from a 4.0L twin-turbo V8. 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds, and a price tag that would make my parents think I joined the Russian mafia. Remember, Daniel says as we walk in, you're not buying a car. You're buying a psychological weapon. The salesman who approached us was in his mid-40s. Perfectly styled hair, a suit that costs more than most people's rent. His name tag reads Colin. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Colin. What brings you in tonight? My friend here, Daniel says, gesturing to me like I'm some kind of celebrity, just closed a major architectural project. We're looking at that C63 in the showroom. Colin's eyes light up. Excellent choice. The AMG line represents the pinnacle of Mercedes performance engineering. Would you like to schedule a test drive? No test drive necessary, I say calmly. I want to buy it tonight. $60,000 cash down, finance the rest. Colin pauses. $60,000 cash down payment, he repeats. Daniel slides his business card across Colin's desk. My friend is a senior commercial architect. He just completed the Millennium Tower redesign downtown. Perhaps you've heard of it. Colin glances at the card, then back at me with newfound respect. The Millennium Tower project made Chicago newspapers for 6 months. Suddenly, I'm not just another guy in jeans. I'm the architect behind one of the city's most visible construction successes, the Millennium Tower. That's incredible work. Let me get my manager. While Colin disappears to get approval for this level of financial insanity, Daniel pulls out his phone. While you're buying your revenge car, he says, I'm setting up phase 2 of our operation. Remember how I said I'd figure out how to destroy their ability to fund Asher's nonsense? Yeah. Daniel shows me his phone screen. He's been researching the West Side Contemporary Gallery, cross-referencing business licenses, tax records, client complaints. Your brother isn't the only one getting scammed. This gallery has been running the same con on dozens of wannabe artists, charging them thousands for wall space, taking cuts from non-existent sales, basically running a high-end money laundering operation disguised as art appreciation. So I found 7 other artists whose families have been funding their gallery fees. Combined, we're talking about $400,000 in family money being funneled through this fake gallery over the past 3 years. I stare at Daniel like he just told me he'd found buried treasure. What exactly are you planning? Class action investigation, consumer fraud complaint with the Illinois Attorney General, business license review with the city, he says, and he pauses. A very public expose that's going to shut down this gallery and leave your brother's fake art career as the poster child for vanity gallery scams. Colin returns with the finance manager, a sharp woman in her 50s named Marissa, who walks us through contracts with the kind of professionalism you only get when dealing with serious money. The final price with taxes and fees. $94,367. My down payment covers 2/3, leaving me with monthly payments I can handle without breaking a sweat. At 9:15 p.m., I'm sitting behind the wheel of my new Mercedes AMG, and this machine feels like barely contained violence wrapped in German leather. The engine rumbles with the kind of authority that makes traffic lights seem like friendly suggestions. As I pull out of the dealership, Daniel follows in his Audi. Both of us heading toward Navy Pier for the photo shoot that's going to detonate my family's social media feeds like a nuclear. But buying the car was just the opening move. We had spent the evening setting up a domino chain of events that would systematically expose and destroy Asher's fake empire while positioning me as the successful son who'd been hiding in plain sight. Phase 3 starts tomorrow. Daniel texts me as we park by the lake. Your family meeting is going to be more interesting than they ever imagined. Navy Pier at 10 p.m. is perfect for what I'm about to do. Chicago skyline provides a backdrop that screams money and success while the AMG's aggressive lines catch the city lights like sculpture. Daniel plays photographer while I position the car. Angle it more toward the skyline, Daniel calls out, snapping photos with his professional camera. After 30 shots from different angles, we review the photos on his camera's display. The winner shows my matte black AMG in the foreground, Chicago's glittering downtown providing a backdrop that communicates wealth, success, and the kind of confidence that comes from actually earning your money. The caption was, Happy 29th to me. Dream car, dream career. Millennium Tower project officially wrapped. Completion bonus officially spent. Celebrate yourself. Daniel reads it over my shoulder. Perfect. This is going to make your parents lose their minds. I hit post. The notifications start immediately. Holy cow, Adrian. Is that AC63? Congrats, man. Didn't know architects made AMG money. Happy birthday. That thing's a beast, bro. What's the 0 to 60? Well deserved. Within an hour, college friends, work colleagues, people I haven't talked to in years, all giving me the recognition and respect my own family couldn't be bothered with. But my parents and Asher. Radio silence. Not a single like, comment, or acknowledgement. Then at 12:20 a.m., my phone rings. Dad's name on the screen. Daniel and I exchanged that knowing grin. I let the phone ring 3 times before answering. Hello, Adrian Michael Sullivan. Full government name. Interesting intro. Hey Dad. What's up? Where the heck did you get money for that car? Not happy birthday, not nice car. Just immediate accusation like I must have robbed a bank to afford something nice. I bought it, Dad. With money I earned. The silence stretches long enough for me to hear Mom's voice in the background. Is that Adrian? What's this about a car, Adrian? Dad continues. That's a $90,000 automobile. Are you in debt? Did you take out predatory loans? Are you involved in some kind of illegal activity? I'm leaning against my AMG, and I can't help but smile at the panic in his voice. 29 years of dismissing my career, and now he's confronted with evidence that maybe his unsuccessful architect son has been doing slightly better than anyone realized. It's mine, Dad. Paid for legally with money from my job. Another long pause. I can practically hear his brain trying to recalculate everything he thought he knew about my financial situation. Cash or financing? $60, 000 cash down. Finance the rest. The phone gets muffled while my parents have some kind of conference. Then Mom comes on, voice full of panic. Adrian, sweetheart, this seems very impulsive. Cars depreciate and this is such a large purchase without consulting family. My phone buzzes with a text from Asher. Dude, WTF? Mom and Dad are freaking out. Did you really buy that car? It looks expensive as heck. When's the last time Asher consulted family before spending thousands on art supplies, or gallery fees, or any of his artistic investments? I ask Mom. That shuts her up for exactly 3 seconds. That's different, Adrian. Asher's art is an investment in his future career, and my actual career isn't. Dad gets back on the phone. This is exactly the kind of impulsive financial decision-making that concerns us, Adrian. You should be maximizing retirement contributions, building emergency savings. Dad, this car costs less than what you've given Asher for his art hobby over the past 2 years. Complete silence. I can feel them both trying to figure out how I could possibly know about Asher's financial arrangements. Daniel gives me a thumbs up from his car. We need to discuss this as a family, Dad says finally. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Dinner. Is this a birthday dinner invitation or a financial intervention? Adrian, see you at 6 o'clock. I hang up, and Daniel immediately comes over smirking. Perfect execution. Now they have 18 hours to panic, research car prices, and work themselves into a complete frenzy before you destroy their entire worldview. So, what about Phase 4? Daniel holds up his phone, showing me a draft email to the Illinois Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division. Phase 4 starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow. By the time you're sitting down for your family dinner, I'll have filed formal complaints against the West Side Contemporary Gallery for consumer fraud, deceptive business practices, and tax evasion. Your brother's fake art career is about to become Exhibit A in a state investigation. I stare at the email draft, realizing that Daniel isn't just helping me expose Asher's scam. He's about to destroy the entire financial ecosystem that made it possible. Good grief, bro. You're not messing around. Neither are you. Phase 4 was going to be nuclear. But I was ready for war. Daniel wasn't kidding about going nuclear. By 9 a.m. Wednesday, he'd filed consumer fraud complaints with the Illinois Attorney General, the Better Business Bureau, and the Chicago Department of Business Affairs, and Consumer Protection, all targeting the West Side Contemporary Gallery's vanity exhibition. Scam. But that was just the warm-up act. I've been up since 5 a.m. Daniel tells me over coffee at our office. Found 12 more families getting scammed by this gallery. We're talking about a systematic fraud operation that's been flying under the radar for years. I flip through the documentation Daniel compiled overnight. Bank records, gallery contracts, payment receipts, social media posts from dozens of fake successful artists whose families have been subsidizing their delusions. How much money are we talking about total? I ask. Conservative estimate. $420,000 over the past 3 years. All of it flowing through this one gallery to artists who think they're successful but are actually just paying rent on wall space. Holy crap. Exactly. Then my phone buzzes with a text from Asher. Adrian, can we talk before dinner tonight? I show the text to Daniel. Perfect. He's already panicking and you haven't even dropped the nuclear option yet. Daniel pulls out his laptop. Want to see something that's going to make tonight's dinner conversation even more interesting? He opens a browser tab showing the Westside Contemporary Gallery's website, but something's different. There's a prominent notice at the top of the page. Notice: the Westside Contemporary Gallery is currently cooperating with ongoing investigations by Illinois state authorities regarding our exhibition policies and pricing structures. All current exhibitions remain open to the public. They got the complaint this morning, Daniel explains. Their lawyer probably told them to post that notice to avoid looking like they're hiding something. But now everyone who visits their website knows they're under investigation. I stare at the screen. What happens to Asher when this investigation gets serious? Depends how deep his involvement goes. If he's just a customer getting scammed, nothing. But if he's been actively promoting this gallery to other artists, helping them recruit new victims, or involved in the financial side. Daniel shrugs. Consumer fraud conspiracy charges aren't out of the question. My phone rings. Elliot, the gallery owner. The same guy who got chatty with me 6 months ago and inadvertently revealed Asher's entire scam. Adrian, this is Elliot from Westside Contemporary. We met at the Palmer House event a while back. I remember. Look, I've got state investigators asking questions about our business model and your brother's name came up in their files. They want to interview all our exhibiting artists about their experiences with us. I put the call on speaker so Daniel can listen. What kind of questions? Financial arrangements, payment structures, sales records. They seem particularly interested in artists whose exhibition fees are paid by family members. Your brother's situation fits that profile perfectly. Daniel is taking notes, barely containing his excitement about how quickly this investigation is moving. When do they want to interview Asher? This afternoon. They're working fast. Apparently, this complaint triggered a review of similar businesses across Illinois. We're looking at potential license suspension if they find financial irregularities. After Elliot hangs up, Daniel and I sit in silence for a moment, processing how completely this plan has exceeded our expectations. Your brother's going to be interviewed by state investigators about consumer fraud approximately 4 hours before your family dinner, Daniel says slowly. This is going to be the best dinner of your life. At 2 p.m., my phone explodes with texts from Asher. Adrian, what the heck is happening? Some investigators want to interview me about the gallery. Did you know this place was under investigation when you asked me about it? I'm supposed to meet with them at 3 p.m. I have no idea what to tell them. Mom and Dad are completely freaking out. Answer your darn phone. I show the messages to Daniel. He has no idea that his entire fake art career is about to be used as evidence in a state fraud investigation. And your parents have no idea that their golden boy is about to become Exhibit A in a consumer protection case study. Do not respond, Daniel advises. Let him go into that interview blind. The investigators will ask him about his gallery fees, who pays them, how much family money has been involved, whether he's recruited other artists. He's going to accidentally provide evidence for the entire fraud case without realizing it. By 5 p.m., I'm getting ready for the family dinner. My parents still think this is about my impulsive car purchase. Asher's probably sitting in an interrogation room explaining how his art career is financed by family subsidies. And I'm about to walk into that dining room with a folder that will destroy 3 years of established family dynamics in 15 minutes. Daniel texts me as I'm leaving my condo. Investigation update. Gallery's business license is under formal review. 3 other galleries in Chicago are now being investigated for similar practices. Asher just gave investigators enough information to document the entire financial arrangement. This is going to be legendary. Phase 5. Complete nuclear annihilation of the family's favorite son. Scheduled to begin in exactly 1 hour. Walking into my parents' house at exactly 6 p.m. Feels like entering a war zone where I'm simultaneously the defendant, prosecutor, and primary witness. Dad is standing by the fireplace in full patriarch mode. Arms crossed, jaw set, ready to deliver whatever lecture he's been rehearsing all day. Mom's hovering near the kitchen, wringing her hands like she's expecting someone to announce a terminal diagnosis. Asher is slumped in his chair, looking like he just survived a natural disaster. Perfect. Adrian. Mom rushes over to hug me. We're so glad you came. Are you? Because yesterday was my birthday, and this is the first time anyone seemed glad about my existence all week. The temperature in the room drops about 15 degrees. Dad clears his throat. That's exactly the kind of dramatic attitude we're concerned about, Adrian. Making expensive impulse purchases to get attention. I sit down, placing my manila folder on the side table. Dad, I researched that car for 3 months. Compared financing options, insurance costs, maintenance schedules. I visited 4 different dealerships. The only impulsive thing was buying it on my birthday instead of waiting another week. Asher finally speaks up, and he looks like he's been slapped. Adrian, did you somehow know that Gallery was under investigation when you asked me about it months ago? I pause mid-bite. What investigation? State investigators interviewed me for 2 hours today about the Gallery's business practices. They seem to know details about my arrangement with the Gallery that I never told anyone. Mom and Dad exchange confused glances. What did you tell them? I ask, keeping my voice perfectly neutral. The truth. That I pay monthly fees for wall space? That Mom and Dad help with the costs? That I've only sold a few pieces over 3 years. They took notes on everything and said they might need to interview me again. Dad jumps in. Asher, what monthly fees? What costs are we helping with? And there it is. The moment I've been waiting for. Asher's about to accidentally expose his entire financial scam to our parents because state investigators scared him into honesty. The exhibition fees, Dad. $1,500 a month for prime wall space. Plus the cuts they take from any sales, although I haven't sold much. Mom's face goes white. $1,500 per month? Yeah, but it's an investment in my career. Asher. Dad interrupts, his voice deadly calm. We've been giving you $1,800 monthly for living expenses. Are you telling us that money is going to pay for wall space in a gallery? Asher realizes he just stepped in quicksand. It's more complicated than that. I decide it's time to detonate my nuclear option. It's actually pretty simple, I say, reaching for my folder. Asher's been paying a vanity gallery to display his art while you subsidize his entire lifestyle. And now that gallery is under state investigation for consumer fraud. I pull out my first set of documents. $1,800 per month for 26 months. That's $46,800 in direct family subsidies. Dad grabs the bank statements like they're radioactive. How did you get these? Research, Dad. I pull out more documents. Asher's rent. $2, $400 monthly. Gallery fees. $1, $500 monthly. Art supplies, studio space, health insurance, car payment. All funded by mysterious cash deposits that coincidentally match transfers from your business account. Mom's examining the gallery contract with shaking hands. Asher, you're paying them to display your art? It's not just paying them, Asher protests weakly. It's an investment. An investment that's generated $1,400 in art sales over 3 years, I interrupt, sliding his sales records across the table. That's less than $500 annually. Meanwhile, your living expenses are funded by $46,000 in family money annually. The silence in that room is so complete I can hear the clock ticking in the hallway. But here's my favorite part. I continued pulling out the final document. While you've been bankrolling Asher's artistic fantasy, I've been earning an actual living. My salary last year was $145,000. The Millennium Tower project earned me a $75,000 completion bonus. Dad looks like someone just told him the house is on fire. $75,000 plus professional recognition, industry awards, and career advancement. All achieved without family subsidies. I stand up and put my folder away, completely calm, while everyone else processes this financial devastation. So, here's what's going to happen. Asher's going to get a real job because the art allowance program is officially terminated. And maybe next time someone in this family achieves something worth celebrating, you'll actually celebrate them instead of funding elaborate fantasies. Or you know what? I don't really need that. Just thought you'd want to know. I grabbed my jacket and headed for the door. Adrian, wait. Mom calls after me. I turn back one final time. I'm done being invisible while you throw money at Asher's delusions. I'm done accepting scraps while he gets a parade for making expensive garbage. And I'm especially done pretending his vanity gallery hobby matters more than my actual career. The door closes behind me. Through the window, I can see them all sitting around the table in stunned silence, finally forced to confront the financial reality they've been avoiding for years. My phone buzzes with a text from Daniel. How did it go? I respond while walking to my Mercedes. Better than expected. Asher accidentally confessed to state investigators this afternoon. Galleries under formal review. Families in complete financial panic. Mission accomplished. Daniel's response comes back immediately. Phase 6 starts tomorrow. Thursday morning, I woke up in my downtown condo. My phone's been buzzing since 6 a.m. with messages from various family members trying to process last night's nuclear fallout. Asher. Adrian, we need to talk. This investigation thing is getting serious. They want to interview me again next week. Mom, Adrian, please call me. We need to discuss the situation as a family. Dad, Adrian, I've been reviewing our financial records. We should meet to discuss your brother's situation. But the most interesting message comes from Daniel at 8:30 a.m. Emergency meeting. Get to the office ASAP. Asher's investigation just got a lot more complicated. I arrive at our architectural firm to find Daniel at his desk, surrounded by printouts, legal documents, and what looks like a small mountain of evidence. Tell me you've got good news, I say, grabbing coffee. I've got better than good news. I've got nuclear news. Daniel holds up an official-looking document. The state investigation expanded overnight. They're not just looking at the West Side Contemporary Gallery anymore. They're investigating a network of vanity galleries across 3 states. He slides another document across his desk. Asher's not just a victim of this scam. Based on his interview yesterday, investigators think he might have been actively recruiting other artists to the gallery. I read the document, realizing the scope of what Daniel has unleashed. Recruiting other artists. Remember his Instagram posts about gallery opportunities and emerging artist networks? Turns out he's been referring people to Westside Contemporary for the past 18 months. 3 artists joined the gallery based on Asher's recommendations. All of them paid thousands in exhibition fees. My stomach drops as I understand the implications. So, he's not just a customer getting scammed. He's potentially part of the scam itself. Consumer fraud, conspiracy, wire fraud if any transactions crossed state lines, tax evasion if he didn't report any referral fees. Your brother could be looking at criminal charges. My phone rings. Elliot from the gallery sounded considerably less friendly than our previous conversations. Adrian, I need to ask you directly. Did you file the complaint that started this investigation? I put the call on speaker. Why would you think that? Because the investigators have information that could only come from someone with detailed knowledge of our financial arrangements. Daniel is taking notes, clearly enjoying this conversation. What kind of information? I ask. They know details about your brother's situation that weren't in our public records. Maybe Asher told them during his interview. Asher told them basic information, but someone provided them with comparative data about our other artists, financial analysis of our business model, even details about artists who stopped exhibiting with us. Someone's been researching us for months. After Elliot hangs up, Daniel and I sit in silence, processing how completely this plan has succeeded beyond our original intentions. Daniel starts laughing like someone just told him the perfect joke. Adrian, you didn't just expose Asher's scam. You potentially got him charged with conspiracy to commit fraud. This isn't just family revenge anymore. This is federal crime territory. My phone buzzes with another text from Asher. Adrian, the investigators want to know if I received any payments from the gallery for referring other artists. I'm scared I might need a lawyer. Can we talk? I laughed at that. At 2 p.m., my phone rings again. This time it's Dad. Adrian, I've been thinking about our conversation last night, about how you knew so much about Asher's gallery arrangements. I'm starting to wonder if that state investigation is somehow connected to your research into Asher's finances. I pause for exactly 3 seconds. That's an interesting theory, Dad. Adrian, if you're responsible for this investigation, you need to understand the consequences. Asher could face criminal charges. This could destroy his future. Asher destroyed his own future. I just documented the evidence. Long silence on the other end. We need to meet, Dad says finally. All of us. Tonight. 7 p.m. Your brother might need our help. Phase 7 was going to be expensive for everyone except me. Thursday evening, 7 p.m. I'm walking into my parents' house for the second family meeting in 2 days. But this time, the power dynamic has shifted so completely that I might as well be a different person. The dining room looks like a legal war room. Dad's got bank statements, tax records, and legal documents spread across the table. Mom's sitting with her laptop open, probably researching criminal defense attorneys. Asher slouched in the corner, looking like he just realized he might need to trade his artist's beret for an orange jumpsuit. Adrian, Dad says as I sit down, we need to discuss your brother's situation. What situation is that? Don't play dumb. The state investigation, the potential charges, the fact that you somehow knew enough about Asher's gallery arrangements to provide investigators with detailed evidence. You are a part of this. Actually, I lean back in my chair while everyone else panics. I documented publicly available information about his financial situation. If that information happens to be useful for a consumer fraud investigation, that's between Asher and the state of Illinois. Asher finally speaks up, voice shaking. Adrian, I might get charged with conspiracy. How could you do this to me? The investigators think I was recruiting artists to help the gallery scam more families. I need to know, did you report them because of our family situation, or did you actually think I was committing crimes? Perfect question. I reported them because they were running a systematic fraud operation that cost families hundreds of thousands of dollars. The fact that you were part of that operation and that our family was funding your participation just made it personal. Mom looks up from her laptop. Adrian, we've been researching criminal defense attorneys. The consultations alone are going to cost thousands of dollars. Asher might need serious legal representation. How much are we talking about? Dad slides a legal estimate across the table. 40 to 60,000 if it goes to trial, potentially more. I study the legal cost breakdown doing calculations. So his fake art career cost you $46,000 in subsidies over 3 years, plus $18,000 annually in ongoing support, plus now potentially $60,000 in legal defense fees. We're looking at over $120,000 total family investment in Asher's artistic endeavors. The silence in that room is deafening. Meanwhile, I continue, my architectural career has generated zero family expenses, required zero subsidies, and earned me enough money to buy a $94,000 car with a cash down payment. Yet, I was still treated like dirt. Asher looks like he might throw up. Are you serious? You are destroying my life to take revenge on family. I could go to prison. Can't believe you're being this vindictive over a freaking birthday. It was never about a birthday party. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All of you, I snap. So don't play victims now. Asher pauses, then delivers the manipulative punch. I get that you felt overlooked. But destroying my life because mom and dad pay more attention to my art than your buildings? That's not proportional, man. That's not the Adrian I grew up with. The Adrian I know wouldn't sacrifice his brother's future just to prove a point about family dynamics. You're being jealous. I lean forward, making direct eye contact with my brother for maybe the first time in years. Asher, I started this investigation because you were part of a criminal enterprise that defrauded families while our parents celebrated your fake success. If you go to prison, it won't be because I reported a crime. It'll be because you committed one. Dad tries to regain control of the conversation. Son, regardless of who's responsible for what, Asher needs family support right now. We're asking you to help us with the legal expenses. Help how? Financially. You obviously have resources we didn't know about. Asher needs the best legal representation we can afford. I look around the table at 3 people who forgot my birthday, dismissed my career for years, refused to help me when I needed them, while they funded my brother's elaborate fraud for years, now asking me to pay for the consequences of their bad decisions. You really want me to use money I earned from the architectural career you've ignored for 6 years to pay legal fees for your son's fake career that you funded? Mom starts crying. Adrian, he's still your brother. And you're still my parents. But that didn't stop you from treating me like garbage. I stand up and grab my jacket. Asher's legal problems are Asher's responsibility. His fake art career was funded by your choices. The consequences are your responsibility too. Son, listen. Dad calls after me. I turn back one final time. No. You listen. I spent 29 years being invisible in this family while you celebrated Asher's scam. The answer is no. And walking out, I felt something I hadn't experienced in my entire life. Complete victory over the family dynamics that defined my childhood. My phone buzzes with a text from Daniel. Update. Gallery's business license was formally suspended this afternoon. Asher's interview with investigators is scheduled for Monday. 3 other artists have been subpoenaed. How did the family meeting go? I respond while starting my car. Family wants me to help with legal costs. Told them to handle their own consequences. I'm officially done with them. Daniel's response. Perfect closure, brother. Congrats. 2 years later, the epilogue writes itself. Asher pleaded guilty to consumer fraud conspiracy and got 2 years probation plus community service. The legal defense cost my parents $67,000. The Westside Contemporary Gallery was shut down permanently, with its owners facing federal charges. Asher's now working at a legitimate graphic design firm, earning his own money for the first time in his adult life. My parents have developed a sudden interest in my architectural career, asking detailed questions about my projects and actually showing up to industry events. But nothing is fixed. I guess it never will be. And honestly, I'm pretty fine with that. I'm driving my Mercedes-AMG to work every morning, living in a completely redesigned apartment, and enjoying life. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just getting even. The invisible son became undeniable, and it only cost my family 6 figures to figure out they'd been betting on the wrong horse for almost 3 decades. Worth every dang penny. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube, this video deserves to blow up.